All right, welcome. We're live here at Pelican Rapids High School. Mike Mason alongside Eric Tianson, getting ready for girls 8-2A semifinal matchup between the 18-1 Pelican Rapids Vikings and the 13-5 Barnesville Trojans. Eric, you have your headset on, I see. Your initial thoughts on this contest here?
Well, I mean, this should be a great one. You look at the record of Pelican Rapids, you look at their success against Barnesville, but also you look at Barnesville's recent success. Mm-hmm. They've been a really resilient team. I know we were texting about this game earlier, actually, today. And the words that I said were, something has to give,
Yep.
I'll pull up the exact text of exactly what it said, but it was really well put.
I'll wait and let you read it off, so that way you get credit for it.
So Barnesville has 5 losses, and 3 of them are against Pelican Rapids. But the Trojans are 4-0 in their last 4 road games and 8-2 in the past 10 games, with one of those 2 losses coming to Pelican Rapids.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. That was pretty much word for word what I was planning to say here. But now you hear the cliche that it's tough to beat a team 3 times in the season. So now that this is the 4th time they've met, have you ever heard a cliche that it's tough to beat a team 4 times in the season?
No.
Neither have I. So I was that's where I was writing out that text that you just read off, and I was like, and then I wrote out a little bit more, and then I deleted it as I'm not sure what to say to that. So I don't know if you have any comments on it, but I don't know what to say to that. So I'm guessing a lot of others probably won't either. But you mentioned it when you read off the text. Barnesville 4-0 in the last 4 road games, which extends back to the last 2 road games of the regular season. And then they fall down big against Monaga, and they outscore them 47-15 in the second half to pick up a 61-53 win over the Monaga Braves. Then they would move on to Crookston, and they would have a close game with the Pirates there. They had defeated Crookston earlier in the regular season, and they would end up winning that game 54-46 over the Crookston Pirates. And that's been Barnesville's trip through the postseason into today's game against Pelican Rapids. And for the Vikings, they're coached by head coach Brian Korf. They got here with a 55-39 win over Staples Motley Cardinals on Wednesday, March 17th. And then on Friday, March 19th, they would pick up a 56-27 win over Park Rapids area. So when you look at the brackets, you got the number 1 team, and they always usually get one of those lower seeds, and they do that on purpose to see if the 2 best teams would end up meeting in the championship. And so you kind of wonder a little bit if Barnesville can play the type of game that they've played, especially against Crookston, that second half versus Monaga. They've actually won 9 of their last 11 games.
Wow.
I think they're 8-2 in the last 10 games under that 10-game stat. But I dug back a little bit further, and you can see that they've won 9 out of their last 11. So Barnesville coming into this game with some pretty impressive play and a pretty impressive win-loss record. If you take out the first couple of games of the season, as you mentioned, 3 of those 5 losses coming to the Pelican Rapids Vikings. And the lone loss for Pelican Rapids came against Crookston here at home, a team that Barnesville defeated twice this season. So you have to think and wonder where Barnesville is going to sit, how Pelican Rapids is going to approach this game defensively. Last time we couldn't find the scorebook. It's in one of our scorebooks, and I got another text I need to show you during our commercial break here regarding the scorebook conversation we had a few days ago. But so I don't remember the exact numbers from the last time these 2 teams played in Barnesville, but it was live here on Magnitude Sports. And Barnesville actually jumped out to a quick and exciting lead. Exciting if you're a Barnesville Trojans fan. But then Pelican Rapids eventually worked their way back. I believe it was 16 points for Greta Tullison in that game, if I remember correctly, or was it 22? I can't remember. Like I said, I don't have that stat book, and I tried to find it. I was hunting for it all day today. and we have the Monaga game. We have every game except for that one, and so I have to generalize my thoughts on that particular game here because I don't remember everything from memory. But yeah, we're certainly looking forward to a good one here. You could say that in the tournament, these two teams are undefeated, and it's a battle of two 2-0 teams, and really that's all that matters. The regular season, I mean, it matters a little, but when you get to this time of the year, it's win and go home, and the ones that matter are the games that you have to win. And this is another game that Barnesville has to win. It's another game that Pelican Rapids has to win. They've had two easier tests. I don't want to say easy or simple, but moderately easy. And they took care of those games convincingly, like people probably expected that they should. Once again, 55-39 over Staples Motley, 56-27 over Park Rapids, while Barnesville's had a little bit more challenging path to this game. So we'll see how those factors play into this one as the Barnesville Trojans come out onto the floor. Broadcast coverage brought to you today by Midwest Bank and the Barnesville Takedown Club, along with Dean's Bulk Service, proudly presenting your pregame show. We'll take a look at the starting lineups right now. We'll start with the visitors, and we'll go with Sam Pesa, Kim Macy, Lexi Ballgreen, Emily Bredman, and Lauren Halverson will be your starters for the Barnesville Trojans. They are 13-5 on the year, 9-5 in the section, 7-5 in Heart of Lakes. They are 7-3 when they play on the road. And I don't remember. I know they played here once. I think they played them at home twice. So one of those losses on the road is here. 6-2 when playing at home. And I think those two home losses were to Pelican Rapids. So you take Pelican Rapids out of the mix. They're 7-1 and 6-0. 8-2 in their past 10 games. They're 9-2 in the past 11 games leading into tonight. 4-0 in the last 4 games on the road, including they played this whole tournament on the road. And so, like we alluded to earlier, it should be a good one here for the Barnesville Trojans. And now the Pelican Rapids Vikings coming out onto the floor. And I do apologize to the Pelican Rapids fans. I did request photos, but they were not available, and that's okay. But we'll put your logo up there to give you recognition. Chloe Paulson, Morgan Korf, Anna Stephenson, Greta Tollefson, and Allison Hybe will be your starters. The Vikings are 18-1, 13-1 in the section, and 12-0 against Heart of Lakes Conference teams. 9-0 at home, or 9-0 on the road, 9-1 when playing here at home. That lone loss to Crookston, 10-0 in their past 10 games. Pelican Rapids, dating back to November 30th of 2018, that was the first game of the 2018-2019 season. They won that game, and coming into today, they are 74-4.
Wow.
Wow. In, what is that, 18-19, 19-20, 20... Yeah, in 3 seasons coming into this game. Now, this is a Tuesday, and they've lost 2 of those 4 on a Tuesday. So, does that mean much right now? Probably not. But if in the event that Barnesville wins this game, you might come back to the pregame show and say, hey, maybe that does mean something. Maybe we need to figure something out. Maybe Tuesday's a bad day for us. We shouldn't schedule any games, but I don't know. So, and 2 of those 4 losses in that 74-4 streak coming in tournaments. The other 2, one to Hawley, one to Crookston, I believe. I know Hawley's one of them, and then I believe Crookston was the other one. And then the other one came in the state tournament after Maddie Guler, who's now graduated, hit this shot right here. Let's play that. I think I have the clip here for you. 5.6 to go here in the second half. We're tied at 41. Fergus Falls had the ball. They lost it out of bounds, and now an opportunity here for the Pelican Rapids Vikings. Guler has it. 3 seconds to go. Guler with the ball. 1 second at the buzzer. It's in! And the Pelican Rapids Vikings on a shot by Maddie Guler go to the state tournament undefeated at 29-0. So that shot right there, I was almost lost, number 5. We're going to take a timeout since we don't have a view of the court, and we'll be right back after this here on the Magnitude Sport. Dean's Bulk Service. Dean's Bulk Service. Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back. Starting lineups are right around the corner here, and I believe they'll start with Barnesville first and then go to Pelican Rapids. We'll turn it over to our PA announcer.
Number 32, a junior, Lauren Halverson. Number 14, junior Emily Bregman. Number 4, junior Lexi Goldring. Number 3, a senior Kimberly Macy. And number 1, senior Samantha Pesa. Trojans are coached by Ryan Armstead, assisted by Ellie Scogan and Nicole Morrison.
All right, so once again, you got Sam Pesa, Kim Macy, Lexi Ballgreen, Emily Bredman, and Lauren Halverson. And that is a 7th grade guard, Morgan Cork, number 10. I want to thank our cameraman, Eric Tiansen, for getting around the crowd there. Chloe Paulson, a senior guard, and then coming through the lineup there was Allison Hybe, a senior forward, and now that is Anna Stephenson, a senior forward. And last but not least, Greta Tollison, a senior forward for the Pelican Rapids Vikings.
Your officials for tonight's game, John Harris, Perry Randerson.
That's incredible. A 7th grade starting guard.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those in our years here at Magnitude Sports, but it's not too frequent.
Yeah.
Seen 2 in basketball and 1 in volleyball. I think.
Wow.
And then I've seen a couple in softball too. So
It's incredible just how good some of these young kids are. You know, you see a few 7th graders, or one 8th grader, excuse me, actually on the Barnesville roster too. Abby John, she's a big impact player as well.
Yep.
I mean, it's just crazy what some of these kids can do, man. When I was in high school, I could struggle to hit the rim on a 3-pointer. Here they are, some of them getting starting minutes in postseason basketball.
That is Sam Pesa. She'll fire it over and through the fingertips of Lexi Ballgreen out of bounds. And that'll be the first turnover of the game there. And, I'm not, if you're a Barnesville fan, I wouldn't be too worried about that at this point in time. Morgan Korf coming up towards the top of the key, circles around a couple defenders, fires it into Stephenson's hand. She goes down to the baseline. The shot's partially blocked, and the rebound is grabbed by Emily Bredman.
I'm already loving the atmosphere in this gym, too. You can hear big cheers from both the student sections early on. Should be a fun one inside this gym.
Yeah, and they have certain areas of the fan section taped off here due to social distancing, but when you look across, you see it looks like it's not taped off and it's fully packed.
Yeah.
And you look to the near side and you see almost the same thing. Ballgreen into the paint. Travel is the call. That's the second turnover. Also, I want to say thanks to Derek, the athletic director, and the activities crew here at Pelican Rapids High School for allowing us to come into their house and broadcast this game, and we certainly appreciate that, and we look forward to future trips here to Pelican Rapids. It's a great facility, and your first game, a tournament game, semifinal, and the winner goes to the championship game, and you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere than this on your first trip to a gym.
Yeah, this has been a warm welcome, to say the very least. First time ever being inside this high school, actually, I believe, and so far I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Macy to Halverson, and that one won't go, and we are still scoreless here, a minute and a half into the game. And the rebound comes down to the Pelican Rapids Vikings, 16-25. Looking to, go ahead, Eric.
I'm interested to see whichever team gets the first bucket. That's going to be a huge momentum booster. We've seen some great defensive plays already. I think whatever team scores that first bucket could potentially go on a run here.
They'll work it near side here for Hybe. Hybe now back into the hands of, that is Tullison, and Tullison will get the first points of the game. And it's 2-0 Pelican Rapids.
If I'm Barnesville, I want to answer right here.
Yeah. They'll fire it over to Ballgreen over on the far wing. She'll dribble skip over here towards the top of the key. Now Macy has it back into the hands of Ballgreen on the near corner. 15:40 and counting to go here. Sam Pesa driving into the paint, pops it out. Macy looked at the basket, and then a near loss, and that is going to be over and back. Yeah, and I think Emily Bredman knew that, and I also think Anna Stephenson knew that. And that was just an unfortunate turnover there for the Barnesville Trojans. But the good news is you have 3 turnovers, and Pelican Rapids has only scored 2 points so far. The bad news, we're only about 3.5 minutes into this game, and a lot could happen.
Yeah, points off turnovers. Looks like that's going to be a huge thing. You mentioned they've got those turnovers, but haven't scored too much off of it yet. But nice bucket right there to get their offense going a little bit more.
Anna Stephenson with that last bucket for Pelican Rapids. So now Halverson has it inside the paint, pops it out for Pesa. Right-handed dribble with a pass over to Macy. Back into the corner for Pesa. Looking inside, but the door is closed. Nearly poked away, and she'll chase it down right in front of the midcourt stripe, and nearly another over and back one there. Bredman now fires it over to Macy inside for Halverson at the high post. One dribble, pops it out. Ballgreen has it. Back inside to the low post now, and Halverson will back up her defender. Shot a little bit too strong, and the rebound comes down for Stephenson. She'll put it into the hands of Morgan Korf, the 7th grade guard, and now it's back into the hands of Stephenson. Stephenson fires it up wide open. A step forward, 3 up and in. Nicely done there by Chloe Paulson. And it is now a 7-0 start here, and Barnesville not necessarily in trouble yet, but they're going to need a bucket soon here, and we'll see if Ballgreen can provide that basket, and she does.
Great take right there. Sometimes you just got to take it inside and try and muscle your way through. That's exactly what happened right there. Good first bucket.
And we'll see if they can get a couple more like that. Ballgreen will get a block. It gets blocked into the hands of Kim Macy, who runs it up court. And then she'll be body checked there by Morgan Korf, and I believe that will be a foul. Almost looked like a move you'd see a hockey player do at center ice.
Well, it certainly does have a hockey feel to it so far, with just the back and forth action between these two teams. Just flying all over the place, but you got to love it. It's postseason basketball.
13:45, Pesa has it. She'll get a screen from Halverson, fire it to Macy. Macy looked at the hoop, now fires it inside there for Halverson. She'll pivot on that left foot. Macy with the 21-footer off the front of the rim. Had that been a 20-footer, it would have been swish. And now the rebound will come down into the hands of Tollefson. Tollefson will take it all the way to the hoop. It'll roll off the rim, and Halverson will get the defensive board. And a whistle and a jump ball, and the possession arrow is favoring Pelican Rapids. Stops the clock with 13:22 to go. Inbounds pass comes into Korf, and now 3 on the way, and that one a little high. Rebound snagged there by Ballgreen. 6-2. They must have made that 3 a 2-pointer. And now it's 6-4 as Ballgreen goes coast to coast. Yeah, originally they had 7 up on the scoreboard here in the gym, and I'm not sure when they changed it back to 6. I just noticed it a few seconds ago.
Yeah, that's a good catch right there. Looked like foot must have been on the line or something, as I know you mentioned during that call, taking a step forward.
Yeah. And now out of bounds, stops the clock with 12:47 to go here. Inbounds pass will find its way into the hands of Sam Pesa. She'll fire it up over to the far wing. I believe that's Ballgreen, and it is. Ballgreen will dish it off for Bredman. Bredman trying to get through 2 defenders. Pesa, now Macy tees it up for 3. That one's a little strong. And that's 2 missed threes for Kim Macy now. And now the Pelican Rapids will quickly, and that pass is deflected, and it comes back out. She thought about it. That was Morgan Korf. Decided to reset the offense, and they will fire it into the hands of Paulson. Now back up top here for Hybe. Hybe will swing it back to Korf. Korf being guarded by Pesa. She fires it over there for Paulson for the shot. That one won't go. Muscle rebound underneath, and now another fight for the ball. And a nice job there by Barnesville to come away with that one. It was Lauren Halverson with the rebound. And a nice pass from Pesa to Halverson, and we are tied at 6.
Wow. Well, hats off to the Trojans for hanging in there. At one point, it was technically, I guess, 7-0. Obviously changed it to 6, but Trojans doing a great job hanging in there, and I think a big reason for that is they've rebounded. I don't know how many offensive rebounds Pelican Rapids has really gotten.
Well, they're not going to get one on that shot there. Is burying the triples, Greta Tollefson, and now we have our first 3-pointer of the game to make it 9-6. 11:27 and counting as Pesa has it in the near corner. Pesa with a right-handed dribble, hands it off for Emily Bredman. Bredman tried to split defenders, and a foul is coming here, I believe, on Chloe Paulson.
Hard to believe that's our first foul of the game, actually. Look at it, it's been about, do some quick math, almost 6 minutes gone, I believe.
Almost 7 minutes.
7 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So, nice flow to this game so far. Hats off to the referees. I always like when they let teams play a little looser in games like this.
So the first foul goes to Chloe Paulson, and that ball will be taken away there by Stephenson. The 8th grader for Barnesville, Abby John, checking into the lineup. That one was partially blocked from behind by Abby John, too. Nice way to inject a little defense coming in off the bench there for the 8th grader.
Yeah, this Barnesville interior defense has been really impressive so far. I think that's probably their 2nd or 3rd block already in this game.
John with the basketball, working back and forth with the 7th grader. An 8th grader being defended by a 7th grader. You don't see that too much in varsity tournament action. And an offensive rebound there. Ballgreen will come up with it, make a move to the basket. She'll get her own rebound. She'll fight, trying to draw a foul, and now she'll tie it up, and it will be a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to the Trojans.
Well, that's just fight right there. That's just Ballgreen just wanting it. And actually, it looks like they will get the ball from the jump ball there, but rebounding. That can win or lose a lot of these games, especially if you're the lower seeded team, and Trojans looking great on the boards right now.
Kenzie Scogan also checking into the lineup. Fires in a pass for Emily Smith, who snuck into the lineup as well. She'll fire it out to Ballgreen off the offensive board, who drives into the paint and drops it in. Lexi Ballgreen already with 6 of the team's 8 points. And it's a 1-point game with 10-10 and counting to go as number 10 Morgan Korf brings it over the timeline. Korf still with the ball. Now fires it near side here for Ellie Welch, a freshman. And a little miscommunication on that one, and is it gonna, I thought for a moment Bredman may have tipped that one off her fingertips, but it is indeed gonna go to Barnesville here with 9:52 to go in the first half. Inbounds pass goes into the backcourt for Abby John. John fires it over to Ballgreen, working inside and over and through the fingertips of Emily Smith, and another turnover here will give the ball back to Pelican Rapids. The Vikings will bring it into the paint. Can't quite see who that was. She was being guarded by Emily Bredman, but she made the shot, and it turns out to be Anna Stephenson. She has 4 in the contest now, and the Trojans are down by 4, 11-8. Check that, down by 3, 11-8. Now we're both 1 for 2 on math problems. That one will drop in. Nice job there by Kenzie Scogan to get the basket.
Well, like you said, you don't need to know math to be a broadcaster.
Unless it's a simple math problem like 8 plus 4 is 11. Then you might be in trouble. There's a turnover. Emily Smith will pick up the loose ball, and now at an 11-10, we have a chance to see Barnesville possibly take the lead. We were tied at 6-6. Otherwise, Pelican Rapids has had the lead in this game. Here's Ballgreen trying to back up Welch. Ballgreen will fire it up to Scogan. Scogan now puts it into the hands of Bredman. Bredman over to Abby John. John being guarded there closely by Morgan Korf. John drives into the paint. Takes an extra large step towards the basket, tipped out of bounds, and it's going to go back to the Vikings. 8:30 to go here in the first half, and the Vikings will get the ball back with a 1-point lead. $8:27 and counting to go. Let's bring it over the timeline there is Stephenson. Stephenson will drive all the way to the hoop, and that was a little bit too easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Coach Ryan Baumstad, you're kind of wondering what happened there.
Yeah, well, it's really the first. That's one of the easiest looks I think we've seen so far in this game. She's able to waltz into the paint, and I would have to imagine they're going to make some adjustments to that. I think one thing to look out for, they don't have Lauren Holverson out there right now. Great interior defender.
And Kenzie Scogan, oh, check that. They're going to charge that to Emily Smith and not Kenzie Scogan. They put 40 on the scoreboard, but I think the PA announcer said Scogan, so not sure. But we'll go with what's on the scoreboard. Emily Smith with 1 foul. Both teams with 1 foul in this game. It's been, like you said earlier, Eric, a pretty quick-paced game with not a lot of stoppages here.
Yeah, already almost halfway done with the first half here. Actually, over halfway done.
Yeah. 1 for 3 on math now for Eric. Baseline jumper was blocked, and it hit the rim off the block there by Scogan. Ends up in a defensive rebound for Smith, and now John will bring it up the court. Now Scogan has it, backs up, fires it near side here for Lexi Ballgreen. Ballgreen, right-handed dribble to Bredman up at the top of the key, back to Ballgreen near side. Another right-handed dribble, she'll go into the paint, pass it across to Scogan, and now Ballgreen's wide open on the outside. Nobody saw her. Bredman will go to the basket and put it in. Emily Bredman enters the scorebook with 2 of her own. It's 13-12, 17-12, or 7-12, excuse me, to go here in the first half. And another tie-up, and that jump ball will favor Pelican Rapids.
And I believe that's now either 3 or 4 jump balls already in this game. We've seen a lot of tie-ups here. That possession arrow going back and forth a lot, and I like the call for a timeout right here.
Yeah, sir, I certainly agree with you there. It is 13-12, 7:04 remaining here in the first half. We'll be back after.
You can capture the moments and memories of this game and all of our past sports broadcasts on DVD. It makes a great gift for a parent, relative, son, or daughter. Please allow 1 to 2 weeks for standard delivery. Place your order now, quickly and easily at msportsnet.com/DVD.
Okay. All right, welcome back to Pelican Rapids High School here. Mike Mason alongside Eric Tianson on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. The Pelican Rapids Vikings here in this semifinal game, holding on to a 1-point lead right now, 13-12 with 7:09 to go here in the first half of play. Anna Stephenson has 6, Lexi Ballgreen has 6, your two leaders here for the respective teams. As we go back to our scoreboard here. With the basketball is Chloe Paulson. And a nice move in the paint there for Tullison. She'll get it to drop. And now Tullison is your leading scorer with 7 for Pelican Rapids as they extend their lead to 3.
Both these teams making their money right now on the interior. I think no three-pointers so far in this game, if I'm correct, right? Because that one that looked like a 3. Oh, no, excuse me. There was one three-pointer.
Yep. It came after that. Originally, we thought Chloe Paulson hit a 3, but she was kind of stepping forward, and the official must have thought that her foot was on the line, so they dropped it to a 2. And then about 3 or 4 possessions later, it'd be Greta Tullison connecting on a 3, and that's the only 3 of the game so far. And that's the difference in this game is that Greta Tullison 3, because ever since that three-pointer, they've exchanged 2-point baskets, and it's remained a 3-point lead, and Pelican Rapids has a chance to increase that lead here on this possession down the floor.
Yeah, well, this is a Barnesville team that likes to shoot the ball a lot, at least from the games that I've seen, so Pelican Rapids doing a great job taking that away from them so far. They've had to find their points elsewhere.
I think during the next commercial break here, we're going to have to send a snap to our Barnesville fans that sent us a snap. So 5:47 and counting to go. We don't have an official Snapchat account for Magnitude. Maybe we should get one.
Yeah.
That way everybody can snap us and not just people with my phone number. So
always expanding the market.
Hopefully there's enough. I think there's enough room on that social media screen to put another logo on there. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. How about that block there again? I mean, talked about it earlier, but these blocks really starting to pile up here for the Trojans. Let's see if they can get some more points off of them.
5.5 to go here as Abby John brings it up over the timeline here. Pops it to Emily Smith. Smith with a right-handed dribble, and she's going to get called. Oh, I thought for a moment it was going to be travel, but it looks like a foul is coming here. And I believe the foul's on Pelican Rapids. We'll see. Yes, it is. So that'll stop the clock with 5:24 to go here, and the Trojans will inbound it from the baseline on the far side, and checking in for the Pelican Rapids Vikings is the freshman Ellie Welch, number 44.
Young team.
Smith will trigger it in to John. And now Pesa. Pesa, the lone senior on the floor at the moment. Everybody else is 8th grader, sophomore, or junior.
Wow.
They have a couple more seniors. They're just not on the floor at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of players out on this court right now that we're going to be seeing for a long time. These two programs got to be happy with where they're at for the future.
That one's going to drop in. Sam Pesa with a nice dribble down to the baseline. She gets her first 2 points of the game, and it's back to a 1-point deficit here as Morgan Korf will call the play that is represented by tapping her head. And I believe that's play number 3 when I was in high school. And defensive board there for Halverson.
Well, you might be right. They tried a three-pointer right there. Maybe that's what she was hinting at.
Scogan just, they left almost like a running back in football, finding that hole through the line, and she drives right to the basket and drops it in. Lauren Halverson has 4, and the Trojans have a 16-15 lead, their first lead of the game.
And they got to be feeling great, especially after how the first few minutes of this game went. It seems like they couldn't buy a bucket. They've managed to weather the storm, and like you said, 1-point lead now.
Well, they're going to try and get it back, and no, Emily Smith will get the defensive board, hand it off to John in the backcourt. John will quickly bring it up, and now she'll get it to the senior Pesa. She'll back up high on the far side, fire it to the top of the key for Smith. Smith fake the pass inside, a little strong off the glass. Lauren Halverson and one. How about that?
Wow, how about that is right. Once again, Barnesville just dominating the boards. That was off of an offensive rebound right there. And we've been talking about math a lot in this game. Well, here's an equation for you. A missed shot plus an offensive rebound more than often equals a second chance and a bucket.
And it'll be in a 3-point lead now as she'll miss the free throw. That's the first free throw attempt of the game for either team.
Wow.
And Abby John will pull down the defensive board, and she'll quickly bring it up, and I don't know if she sensed somebody was behind her. Here's Scogan with a three. That one won't go. Smith with the rebound in the offensive board and tried the reverse layup, but missed it off the mark there. And Pelican Rapids come back with a chance to pull within one or tie the game here. Nice little spin move. Now they'll drop it down, pass across the paint, and Scogan nearly blocked it. Matter of fact, she did get a hand on it, but it never really turned into a shot. That was tipped, so Pelican Rapids will pick it up in the backcourt with no penalty.
That was a good possession for the Vikings right there. They had good ball movement. They just weren't quite able to get it everything but the basket, as you like to say.
Baseline jumper in. Greta Tullison for two. 3, 5, 7, 9 now. Nobody in double digits yet. Greta Tullison with 9 is the closest one. Couple of substitutions on the horizon here for Barnesville at the next break in action. Emily Bredman and Lexi Ballgreen will check in. Right now, Halverson down low. I think she traveled. Yep, she did.
Yeah, sometimes you might be able to get away with those. I mean, it was a good-looking move from up here, but good eyes by the referee to get that travel.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I've seen a couple of those from our vantage point where the ref was on the other side and he didn't call them, and probably maybe should have. So, as we go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, definitely a fickle nature of those travels.
That shot a little bit off the mark and out of bounds, but last tip by Barnesville. So it'll stay with the Vikings, and they'll get an inbounds pass from the baseline underneath their own hoop. And now the officials are going to get together and talk. And yes, it will stay with Pelican Rapids, and I believe that is the right call. Although Coach Baumstad not agreeing with that call, but from my vantage point up here, it kind of looked like it was tipped by somebody in white.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. That was a correct call.
Into the corner. That is Welch as we crack the cookies on 2 minutes to go.
There you go, a new one. I love that.
I wanted to say break the cookies, but I got to make a transition. You know. You're welcome to steal that one with you. And is that a foul or travel? It is. It's a foul. It's an offensive foul. They're calling a charge. It wasn't much of a charge. It looked more like a travel than a charge, but either way, the ball goes to Barnesville. The only downside is that's another foul here for Pelican Rapids.
Right on. That's exactly what I was about to say right there. And now they're at 5. Not a whole lot of time left, but certainly something to keep an eye out on if you're the Vikings.
90 seconds to go as John has it on the near wing. Right-handed dribble, and it's nearly poked away. John keeps it. Ballgreen has a little bit of space, drives in towards the hoop. Ball's tipped around. Halverson will come away with it. Bounce pass there to Emily Smith won't go, and the rebound comes down to Hybe. Minute 12 and counting to go. As Korf brings it over the timeline, directing traffic. She'll fire it over to near wing. Now they're pushing into the corner here, and I believe that is Welch with the basketball right now. Welch will put the ball to the floor on a left-handed dribble. 58 seconds to go, inside a minute. 18-17, the Trojans took the lead at 16-15. They haven't given it up yet, and now a foul's coming here on Abby John. That is only the second foul on the Barnesville Trojans.
Yeah, and that's good news right there if you're Barnesville, because obviously no threat of being in the bonus, but that also means no one's really in foul trouble early on, so you don't have to worry about substitutions or any of all that.
Yeah, you got Emily Smith and Abby John with one foul each. None of your starters have any fouls yet. Morgan Korf is a starter with a foul, though, and Anna Stephenson is a starter with a foul. And those two are in right now. Stephenson tried to feed it down low there for Tollefson. It goes out of bounds. They'll stay with the Vikings.
Well, now they've got half a minute. I mean, if they really want to, they can take their time and just try and get the last shot and go into the locker room with the lead. But I have to imagine they might have something up their sleeve off this inbounds.
And I don't think that's what they had up their sleeve. Sam Pesa will pick up the loose ball, fired across. Bowgreen will tee it up for a three. A little strong right into the hands of Greta Tollefson on the defensive rebound. 17 seconds to go as the Viking student section chants the air ball chant.
And now if I'm the Vikings, I hold for the final shot here.
Looks like they're going to go in, and that one's off the mark. Offensive rebound. Welch gets it up and in. Nicely done there. And that gives them the lead back as we head into halftime at 19-18. That was a very good first half of basketball here. And, man, we can only hope that that second half is similar to that one.
Oh, man, yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to collect our thoughts, and then we'll come back and share the thoughts that we collected in our Midwest Bank halftime show coming up right after this.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Your family.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and IsoClean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
All right, welcome back. We're live here at Pelican Rapids High School. We're at halftime of the semifinal on the Section 8 AA tournament here. Pelican Rapids High School, the Vikings with a 1-point lead over the Barnesville Trojans here, 19-18 as we head into the half. The Vikings 18-1, their only loss this year to Crookston, while Barnesville 13-5. 2 of those wins against Crookston, 3 of those losses against Pelican Rapids. That is... And they're certainly holding their own here in this one here. I don't know how, if you were to ask 100 people, how many of those 100 in your guess would say that this would be a 1-point game at halftime?
Probably one or two. I mean,
Yeah, and those one or two are super fans of Barnesville, probably. But, this has been a great game, and it's been pretty even scoring for both teams here. We'll start with the visitors, as we always do. Sam Pesa with 2, Lexi Ballgreen and Lauren Halverson leading the way with 6 apiece, and then 2 for Kenzie Scogan and 2 for Emily Bredman. You add those up, it comes to 18. For the Pelican Rapids Vikings, 2 for Chloe Paulson. 2. And 6 for Anna Stephenson, 2 for Ellie Welch, matter of fact, Ellie Welch's 2 points is what gave them the halftime lead, as they got that right before the buzzer, trailing 18-17. And the Pelican Rapids Vikings are led by the senior forward Greta Tollefson, who has 9 points, scored the first bucket of the game, followed it up with a 3-pointer about maybe 6 minutes later, got a couple more baskets after that as the Barnesville Trojans come back out onto the floor here. Once again, broadcast coverage brought to you by Midwest Bank, Dean's Bulk Service, and Halverson Farm, encouraging you to eat beef. Did you eat any beef today?
No, believe it or not, but I will say I do eat beef on a weekly basis, so I can approve that message for sure.
All right, we want to thank our sponsors for making broadcasts possible here on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Your thoughts on the first half, Eric?
It was a great first half of basketball. A lot of great defense. I think counted up not too many three-pointers. I think none for Barnesville, so that's certainly something to keep an eye out on. It looks like Pelican Rapids at times was going in a bit of a zone look, and we've seen the zone look employed both on the boys and the girls side here in both these teams' seasons so far. I think one thing to keep an eye out on, we were talking about in pregame how Pelican Rapids hasn't necessarily been a cakewalk, but they've had fairly comfortable wins early on in their first 2 games.
Yep.
And then when you flip a switch, especially when you're a team like Pelican Rapids, who's really just dominated overall in the regular season, now you find yourself in a tougher, closer game like this. It certainly is an adjustment to make. So obviously they're quote-unquote only up 1 right now. Obviously a halftime lead is a halftime lead, but the longer that Barnesville hangs around in this game, I think you've seen a lot, especially in March Madness this year between teams. I mean, certainly something to keep an eye out on. I think if you're Barnesville, you just got to try and keep this game close. Don't let Pelican Rapids go on a run. And if you're Pelican Rapids, you're going to want to try and put your foot down and go on a run here in the second half. Sort of put a stamp on yourself being the top team. We've seen that a few times. I think we saw that during the Cheyenne Davies game. They went out on a run really from start to finish, but especially like early on in the second half, just sort of close the door on any chance of a comeback. Let's see if Pelican Rapids can sort of go on a big run here and try and assert their dominance, or if Barnesville is going to hang around and make things a little more difficult and see if they can make the Vikings sweat a little bit.
Yeah, just got an update from Fergus Falls. Fergus Falls up big over Hawley. Fergus Falls Otters 30. They've held the Hawley Nuggets to 6 points. It's 30-6 at the half. Whew. So the winner of that game, if Fergus Falls hangs on to that, but we've seen stranger things happen, but if Fergus Falls hangs on to that and wins that game, they'll play the winner of Pelican Rapids and Barnesville, and, well, we don't have that kind of a differential on the scoreboard right now. We can't go ahead and say who's going to win this particular game, but I want to thank our friend Jason for sending that score to us, and I'm sure he'll keep us updated. Hopefully we'll get a final for that game before we go off the air with this one here. In the pregame show, we played that clip of Maddie Guler hitting that shot against Fergus Falls. Speaking of Fergus Falls, what a nice transition. Somebody just came up here, tapped me on the shoulder, and said that she is watching this game pretty much directly in front of us across the way here. Wow. And she received about 7, 8, 9 text messages saying that we played that clip. So. And last time I looked at that clip, it had like 3,500 views, and she told me that it's approaching 6,000 views now.
Wow.
So yeah, that's our most watched highlight of all the highlights we've ever put up. It's not our most watched video, but you could certainly put that in the top 5 of our most watched videos. That's for sure. So. 19-18, about a minute to go here before we enter the second half, so we'll take another timeout. That's going to conclude our Midwest Bank halftime show back in 90.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, Building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISOClean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament. Time to have the eat beef, so. All right, welcome back. Once again, broadcast coverage brought to you by Dean's Bulk Service. Your halftime show brought to you by Midwest Bank. And also Halverson Farm that encourages you to eat beef. Barnesville led by Lauren Halverson with 6 and Lexi Ballgreen with 6. And Greta Tollison leads the way here for the Pelican Rapids with 9. And it's 19-18 as we start the second half of play here. 6-6, the game was tied. The Trojans took the lead at 16-15. Pelican Rapids got it back on a shot by Ellie Welch right at the buzzer to take the 19-18 lead going into halftime. And that's where we sit right now as that shot is up and Halverson will pull down the rebound. I have her down for 7 rebounds already, all of them on the defensive glass. She has 2 on the offensive glass, according to my numbers. And a quick turnover here, and that's kind of how Barnesville started that first half as well.
Yeah, ball security going to be something to watch out here for both these teams in the second half. I'd imagine that was probably a major talking point for both these coaches in the locker room.
And she lost it off her knee, but it's going to stay with Pelican Rapids as apparently it went off somebody in white on its way out. Inbounds pass comes up top there. I believe that's Hybe. No, check that. That was Stephenson. I don't know, those orange numbers kind of blur together.
Yeah,
is
especially
one of the
from
two.
a distance.
I was had no trouble with that in the first half. Pesa, now Bredman has it. Bredman left-handed dribble, pushes it into the corner there for Ballgreen. Spins to the hoop, off the front of the rim, and the Vikings will get the rebound. They'll bring it back the other way here, leading by 1 with 16:49 and counting, and a foul. Going to the line to shoot 2, I believe that is Hybe.
That's big if you're the Vikings right here. Going to try and get to the line more in the second half. Talked about not a whole lot of fouls in the first half. Let's see if Pelican Rapids just puts their head down and tries to get to the charity stripe a lot more here.
And it's actually Anna Stephenson at the free throw line here for the Vikings. She'll make the first one. That's the first free throw attempt and make of the game here for the Pelican Rapids Vikings. She has 7 now. Tollison with 9, Stephenson with 7, possibly 8 if she can connect on this one, and she will not. She'll miss the second one. We've had a grand total of 3 free throw attempts in this game.
Wow.
2 right there and 1 back in the first half by Lauren Halverson, who was not able to connect on her lone attempt of the game so far.
That's crazy. That's got to be the lowest free throw halftime total I think I've ever seen. Just 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the same applied here. Looks like Sam Pesa is going to go to the line to shoot a couple, though, and we'll see if she can increase that amount of attempts in our scorebook here.
Yeah, got a chance to tie it up as well.
So once again, Sam Pesa going to the free throw line, and she makes the first one. That's the first made free throw of the game for Barnesville. They are 1 of 2, 50% from the line as a team here in the game, and that pulls it within 1, a chance to tie it here if she can connect. And she does, and we're tied at 20. It's our second tie of the game.
Here comes a little bit of press from Barnesville. Able to break it out quickly.
Korf backs up in front of the center stripe. Gets a screen, but Pesa able to get around it defensively, so not much coming from that one as they swing it around to Hybe. Now on the near side here, Tullison for a three, won't go. Rebound comes down to Kim Macy, and the Trojans will bring the ball back. It's Sam Pesa. Pesa works it to Macy. Macy up in the air and nearly came down out of bounds. Now Bredman has it. Bredman lost it off her foot. Loose ball picked up there by the Vikings. Another turnover. And now tied at 20. Pelican Rapids has a chance to take the lead. They'll try for a three. It's Morgan Korf. No, that one's off the mark. But an offensive rebound back into the hands of Korf. Now Korf will get it back after another pass, and she'll center it up in between the circles here and reset the deep offense. Hands it off there for Stephenson. Stephenson will back up. Can't quite tell if they're playing like a man-on-man or if they're playing some unique 1-2-1 zone. It's kind of a mix of both, it looks like, for the Trojans. They'll turn it over there, and we'll see if that defense can get back in time. As they'll get it back into the hands of Hybe. Hybe at the near wing, pushes into the corner here for Paulson. Paulson looks to the left, dribbles to the right, up to the top of the key now. That is Korf. Korf, the daughter of the coach, Brian Korf, for Pelican Rapids. And now it goes into the hands of Tullison. Tullison finds her way to the basket, puts up and in. With that basket, Greta Tullison, the first from either team to enter double digits. She has 11. And the Pelican Rapids Vikings have a 22-20 lead.
And that is as good as a move that you will see at the high school level right there. How about that off the dribble?
They're going to call a charge on Sam Pesa. First foul, or check that second foul of the second half. But the good news is that's her first. And she's the only starter for Barnesville who has a foul right now.
Wow.
22-20, 14-19 and counting. Morgan Korf works into the hands of Paulson. Paulson looking inside, fires it over there for Stephenson, who puts it up for a three, and it's there. Stephenson had 7, now has 10. There's 2 Vikings in double digits now. Stephenson with 10 and Tullison with 11.
And whatever team can maybe catch a little bit of heat from behind the arc here in the second half, that could be a big precursor to who's going to win the game. And that three right now might be pointing towards the Vikings, but we'll see.
Macy a little short on that three-point attempt. Chasing it down on the baseline there for the loose ball rebound is Morgan Korf, and she'll bring it up over the timeline. High on the near side, left-handed dribble. Bounces it into the low post. One dribble, now a bounce pass back up to the top of the key. Finally back into the hands of Morgan Korf. She'll back up in between the circles, and the Pelican Rapids Vikings will reset the offense here. Leading by 5, 25-20. This might be the biggest lead of the game outside of that 6-0 run to start the game. 3 on the way, back iron won't go, and the rebound snagged by, that's Emily Bredman.
There.
Well, yeah, Bredman and Halverson were both in on that one, and I'm not sure who officially got credited with that one.
If only there was a way to award a half a rebound.
Yeah, right? we could make up that stat.
Yeah.
That one's tipped out of bounds. It'll go back to the Vikings. And a timeout's going to be called here by Barnesville, and probably a good call.
Yeah.
Don't want to get down by more than 5 against a 1-loss team, a 4-loss team in 3 seasons, especially when that team has home court advantage.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this here on the Bay. All right, about 10 seconds remaining in the Barnesville timeout. Want to say hi to everybody at Ratso's Pool Hall back in Barnesville watching the game. And they can't eat beef there. They only have pizza and peanuts. So at least I think, anyway. So.
Well, I remember I was racking my brain. I did have beef as recent as yesterday. So didn't have beef today, but did have some delicious beef yesterday. And we were talking about during the break. Man, that commercial makes me hungry.
12:42 and counting to go here in the second half. 25-20, the Vikings have the ball in the 5-point lead. But this has been a great game, even though they've gotten, I think 6 is the biggest lead the Vikings have had up to this point. Missed shot there, and over-tip rebound goes back to the Vikings.
Now it's the Vikings' turn to get in on the fun on the offensive glass.
Yeah, there's been a lot of offensive and defensive rebounds for Barnesville in that first half, but I only have them down for a couple here in the second half. It's been mostly Pelican Rapids, even though the scoreboard doesn't quite reflect that. May have heard a few boos from the Barnesville fans, maybe wanting requesting a travel call there, but they're not going to get it. Welch will try for a 3. Off the mark, Pesa will get the rebound.
Looks like they'll call that one on the floor right there. Boy, that would have been massive if it was a shooting foul, but I like the effort in transition right there to just call their own number and try and take it all the way. Just unfortunate. If it was about a half a second later, that would have been a massive play. But regardless, still a good chance to get some points here off this inbound.
Lob pass up top to Abby John. John tried to split defenders. Ball green to Bredman now. Bredman will fire it to Scogan. Scogan, right-handed dribble into the corner. Bredman for 3. She buries it.
There you go. That's your first 3 of the game for Barnesville right there. Coming off of Bredman, and that's a big shot right there. Back to 2 points.
Emily Bredman with 5 points in the game now, and I believe that was Chloe Paulson who was slow to get up at the other end. I was trying to catch a jersey number, but she's still on the floor, and that's good. We're glad that she's okay, because it looked like she went to grab her right ankle off the rebound attempt there, and was a little bit slow to get up. Maybe cringed a little bit. May have been a little bit of pain, but she's back there defending in the backcourt, so she's going to be just fine. We're happy to see that.
And these are all Warriors out here on the court. You see, there's a banner that says Vikings, the world's greatest Warriors. I don't think there was any chance that she was coming out of the game. They're all going to fight through it.
Another 3. That one in and out. That would have been big if Barnesville would have connected on that. It's back to a 2-point game out of bounds. Well, who's it going to go to? It's going to the Vikings.
That call not exactly well received by the Barnesville student section, but definitely Vikings ball here. Now a little bit more press coming from Barnesville.
Yeah, you got those. You got Ballgreen and John in the backcourt there. As Paulson will bring it over, hands it off there for that's Hybe, and now Welch has it. Welch will put the ball to the floor. Paulson, stutter step, thought about it, didn't pull the trigger. Up top now, it's into the hands of Tollefson. Tollefson, step back long 2, partially blocked into the hands of Kenzie Scogan. And now the Barnesville Trojans have a chance to tie or take the lead if they get an open look at a 3. Abby John will try and tie it up. And that one will bounce off. Welch will get the defensive board. I have her down for 3. Baseball pass up to the half-court stripe. Gets around defenders and it rolls off the rim. Battle for the rebound and coming away with it. And eventually Emily Smith picks up the loose ball. It exchanged teams on about 2 occasions in about 1.1 second there. And Abby John goes down, scores and 1.
Wow. Well, I know you like the term pinball basketball. Well,
yeah.
Barnesville might have gotten a high score right there off of that pinball basketball at the end. One to tie it up. Big time play from the 8th grader right there.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that ties it up, and she will go to the line to shoot the free throw to see if she can give the Barnesville Trojans their second lead of the game. Last time they led, the score was 16-15, and now it's 26-25 in favor of Barnesville.
Once again, we saw it in the first half. Vikings starting out with all the momentum in the half of basketball, but Barnesville been able to weather the storm a little bit. They got their lead back.
Working in the corner, Paulson for a three, she connects!
How about the answer right there from the Vikings? Just quick as you like, get their lead back.
28-26 as Pelican Rapids retakes the lead. That's the third time they've taken the lead. Ballgreen has it now. John, as the Vikings fans chanting defense. John has it again. They'll whip it out to Scogan up top. Scogan almost lost it, gets it back to John. Up top for Bredman. Bredman will split defenders, pass it down low. The shot was blocked.
Woo-hoo! Oh my goodness, what a block that was.
I think that injected more enthusiasm into their student section than it did into their team on that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's certainly a factor getting the crowd back into the game.
Inside there, and Tullison works it out for Stephenson. Now Tullison has it again, being guarded there by Ballgreen. Tullison will put the ball on the floor on a left-handed dribble. She'll step back, looked at the basket, and now she's double 1.5 teamed, I guess you could say there, and put it into Morgan Korf's hands. Handoff, drive into the lane. That is Tullison, I believe. No, check that, Stephenson. And she'll go to the basket, or go to the line with the and one opportunity.
Wow, it's just been big play after big play after big play here for the Vikings over these past few minutes, and that's a way to get momentum back on your side. You can sort of feel it not necessarily slip away from them, but Barnesville able to grab that lead. It felt like the momentum was all with the Trojans, but three-pointer, big block, and one, all of a sudden, feels like it's back in the hands of the Vikings here. Now they've got a chance to extend their lead even more.
Yeah, a bucket for Barnesville down on the next trip down the court here is much needed, and they're probably going to talk about that until we have a timeout on the floor here. So we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the...
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
While the scoreboard reveals the winner of an athletic contest, the real winners are the players, coaches, and fans who show good sportsmanship. Those who treat the game as a competition, show concern for an injured player, and accept all decisions from game officials. Please remember to be a good sport when attending a high school game. This message courtesy of Magnitude Sports.
All right, welcome back. So come out of the timeout. Just got another update from Fergus Falls. The Otters lead the Holly Nuggets 40-14 about midway into the second half of that one. So thanks once again to our pal Jason for passing that score along to us, and certainly appreciate those updates. We'll give you more as they are reported to us. Right now, Pesa has it, and Scogan now with the Trojans down by 5, 31-26. They'll get into the hands of Scogan. Scogan spins, hands it off for Pesa, works it inside for Halverson. Halverson, one dribble, fights her way to the hoop, and a travel is called. So the ball will go back now to the Pelican Rapids Vikings, leading by 6. Check that, leading by 5. 7.5 to go as Korf brings it over the timeline. And nearly stripped away, but they'll get it into the hands of Stephenson. Stephenson being guarded by Smith, dribbles in, spins, shot up, in and out, won't go. Halverson with the rebound. And Halverson, I have her down for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rebounds.
Wow.
And that could be one reason why they're within 5 right now, because 8 of those 10 have been on the defensive glass.
Yeah, she's been huge. Really not only in this game, but all season long on the offensive board. She always seems to be one of those standout players when I come watch this team play.
Long two on the way, in and out, won't go. Rebound goes to Tullison. Tullison through the fingertips, and it'll go back to Barnesville.
Trojans could really use a bucket here too.
Turnovers 11-7. 7 for check that 7 for Pelican Rapids, 11 for Barnesville, according to my unofficial numbers. As we approach, go inside 6.5 to go. Emily Smith with the basketball, now fires it up. That is, I believe that's Scogan who's dribbling it in. Halverson with the rebound and one.
And right on cue, we were just talking about her on the offensive and defensive glass. I believe that's now what, offensive board number 3?
Yep, that's what I got anyway.
Wow.
Unless I missed one, and it's certainly possible that I missed one. Our stats are always unofficial, but they're pretty close to official. Both teams 2 for 3 from the free throw line, and now she'll miss that one. Halverson 0 for 2, and the Trojans 2 for 4 from the line now in this game. They'll work it up top there. I believe that's Korf, and it is. Korf, and that one's stolen away. It ends up in the hands of Abby John. John to Scogan. Scogan will get fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. That is the 6th team foul on Pelican Rapids here in the second half. And with just inside 6 minutes to go, you get 2 shots here, and then the next one puts Barnesville at the line for a 1-and-1. And this is the point where Barnesville has to make the free throws if they want to stay in this game. And that one will roll off, and that is a tough miss there if you're a Trojan fan.
Yeah, those are points left on the table when you talk about missed free throws. Can't be leaving too many on the table.
And she's going to leave 2 on the table there, but they get an offensive rebound from Emily Smith, and she'll make up for the 2 missed free throws, and it's 31-30.
Well, I can't think of a good table analogy right now, but we'll just say that they put some points back on the table. Great answer from the Vikings there. They're starting to heat up offensively from behind the arc right there. Another nice 3-pointer.
Yeah, and you look at the last 2 trips down the court. One for Barnesville, one for Pelican Rapids. Barnesville had to fight to get 2 points, and Pelican Rapids comes down, makes a 3 look easy. That's got to be a little bit frustrating for if you're a Barnesville Trojans player on the court right now.
Yeah, those kind of shots could be demoralizing for a team that's trying to mount a run and cut into a deficit, but we've seen already throughout this game, Barnesville hasn't really been too discouraged from that. We've seen it this tournament, really, if you think back to some of their previous games. This is a pretty resilient bunch.
Yeah, definitely. 34-30 with 5:12 to go. And now that is team foul number 7. So going to the line is Sam Pesa. She has to make one to get one. She's 2 for 2 in the game so far, and her team trails by 4. And that one will not count, I believe, or will it? I believe it hit I believe it hit the board up top. So Halverson trying to plead her case with the officials there on the free throw. And now the official's going to come over and talk to Mr. Baumstad, the Barnesville coach. The officials will get together. I believe the initial call was that it hit the beam right up in the center of the backboard there, but the Trojans and Coach Baumstad arguing a different case, and it looks like they're not going to win that battle. So remain 34-30. But they will put the press on. We'll see how Pelican Rapids handles that press. So far, so good. Bringing it over the timeline is Stephenson, being guarded by Smith. Stephenson will hand it off there for Korf. Korf near side to Tullison. Tullison, right-handed dribble, fires it down low. It's tipped by Emily Smith. Who touched it last? It was Emily Smith, and it'll stay with the Vikings.
Entering the ball game.
So Chloe Paulson will trigger the inbounds pass. But first, Lexi Ballgreen and Emily Bredman will come in, and that will give breathers on the bench to Lauren Halverson and Kenzie Scogan for the Trojans. And now Paulson will trigger the inbounds pass up top from the baseline, high on the far side. They'll hand it off into the hands of Morgan Korf. Korf will back up, being guarded by Abby John. Got the 7th grader versus the 8th grader there. And they're both calm and collected, both offensively dribbling, and Abby John on the defense there.
Yeah, without a program, you would not be able to tell their age.
Barnesville's going to win that jump ball tip. And 4 minutes and 31 seconds to go, and you're down by 4. And if you're a Barnesville Trojans fan, you cannot make too many more mistakes here, because if you, and there's the one mistake right there, that's going to be a travel.
Yeah, especially against such a great team like Pelican Rapids. You make too many mistakes, they're going to make you pay big time.
Yeah, and 6 might be manageable. When you get to an 8-point deficit, you get to that point where you're nervous, because time becomes less of a friend here, and we'll see what happens here. And what's the call? It's a foul on Barnesville. That'll be their 4th of the half, so they have a couple more to give yet. But that one was in the act of shooting, so that'll send the Vikings to the free throw line.
I'm interested to see how this trip to the line goes right here for Pelican Rapids.
That one will roll off.
Because this is another area where they can really start to build their gap. Barnesville hasn't been shooting the free throws very well in the second half. That could be something to keep an eye out on as they hit their second.
Anna Stephenson, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. She has all 5 of the Vikings free throw attempts. Nobody else has taken a trip to the line yet, unless I forgot to write one down.
And she's been fantastic in this game, free throws and otherwise.
John will work it to Bredman. Now they've fired over to Pesa. Down 5. John gets it inside for Smith. Smith outside for Ballgreen. She'll stutter step, run into a triple team. Outside for Pesa. Pesa to the hoop. It won't go. Maybe got away with the travel there. And now they'll fight for it out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul. That's the 5th foul on the Trojans. It'll be the 2nd on Lexi Ballgreen. Only the 2nd starter to be Pesa has 1, Lexi Ballgreen has 2. I may have forgotten one. We'll double check here momentarily. Morgan Korf.
Wow.
As the term they use there, breaking the ankles of Abby John in the backcourt, and that really fired up that student section for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, those plays, a lot of people might just say that, they're for the highlight reels, but trust me, both the student section and the bench, it'll get them fired up, and that could go a long way for a team.
We'll see if the Barnesville student section will get into this game. I don't think we've heard much from them in this one so far, but that certainly can elevate a team, even if it's just one basket that starts a spark. Ballgreen for 3, she got it.
Well, there you go. There's a spark right there. Back to a 2-point game. Score and a stop, or a stop and a score, I should say. And we're back to a tie game, most likely.
35-33. And we'll see if the Barnesville defense can step it up here over the Vikings offense. We're going to have a timeout from the Vikings offense. So we'll continue that thought when we return from this break here on the Magnitude. Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament. All right, coming out of the Pelican Rapids timeout, Barnesville is going to make a quick substitution. We'll see Kenzie Scogan coming into the lineup. You also have Abby John, Emily Smith, Emily Bredman, and Lexi Ballgreen on the court there for Barnesville. Paulson will trigger the inbounds pass here into the hands of Tullison. Tullison right in front of the free throw line will pass it back out for Morgan Court, or check that. Now Paulson has it. No, check that. That is Morgan Court. No, it's not. I can't see that jersey number from here. That is Tullison, or Stephenson. There, we got it right. That is probably the worst 30 seconds of my broadcast career right there. I think I'm going to just turn the mic over to you, Eric. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, including Dean's Bulk Service, for sponsoring not only the Barnesville Trojans, but every game of the 8AA tournament. We certainly appreciate their support. Midwest Bank, the Barnesville Takedown Club, and Halverson Farm, encouraging you to eat beef.
Well, even the great ones had their off nights.
And looks like we have another timeout here taken by Pelican Rapids. So 2:05 to go. Put our scoreboard up on the screen there. We are still at a 2-point game out of the last timeout. No point scored. We'll keep it here during this one. Your Pelican Rapids coach, your team's up by 2. What are you telling the Vikings right now?
Keep trying to get to the free throw line. I think you look at right now, Trojans have 5 fouls. You're oh so close to putting them in the bonus. And also on the other end, I think conversely, do not foul on defense. I know a lot of times that's easier said than done, but it could be tempting to try and get a steal or a block or a big time play like that. But just play some disciplined defense, don't be jumping around, keep your feet planted. Don't let them get any of those free points with the clock stopped.
And I think similar words probably shared in the Barnesville huddle along the lines of don't foul, just play defense. If they score a bucket, then let's go down and score a bucket down on the other end. But I think in addition to not fouling, they need to be careful with the ball. Make sure they don't turn it over here because you're down 2. If you turn it over, it's game over, season over, and Pelican Rapids will go on to play most likely the Fergus Falls Otters. And what a rematch would that be? We'll have that game for you here on Magnitude Sports. We're not sure where it's going to be played at the moment. Actually, I take that back. It'll be played at Perham High School if Pelican Rapids wins this game, and if Fergus Falls wins the game, then the girls' championship will be played at Perham High School, while the boys' championship will be played here at Pelican Rapids High School. That update coming right before right before we went on with our broadcast. In and out for Abby John, and that was near lead change there. And Pelican Rapids Vikings consider themselves lucky on that one.
And if you're Barnesville, you can't let that discourage you. Next possession, you got to go out and try and do it again.
$120 to go.
I should say.
Yeah, no, I'll let that one slide. And it's stolen away by Kenzie. Oh, and they're going to call a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors Pelican Rapids. And that could have gone either way. That could have been a steal or a jump ball, and we'll go with the jump ball. So
that was a split-second call right there. I think you could make an argument for either one, and I wouldn't be mad with either call.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you there. It's always a tough job for the official to call those on-the-spot calls, and I believe he made the right call on that one. The good news is that possession arrow turns over to the Trojans now, so if that happens again, you're down by 2, a minute to go, and out of bounds. It'll stay with Pelican Rapids. So just a couple ticks inside a minute, 59.4 to be exact. And we have a 2-point game on our hands here. And we have another timeout on the floor. That's our third timeout in the last 20 seconds of gameplay. So let's go over the numbers that we have so far. We'll keep it here in this timeout. Right now, Chloe Paulson has 5. Let's see here. Anna Stephenson, I have her down for 14. Greta Tollefson, I have her down for 14. Allison Hybe, 3 fouls but no points. And Ellie Welch with 2. And that wraps up your scoring for Pelican Rapids so far. So 14 apiece for Anna Stephenson and Greta Tollefson. For the Barnesville Trojans, Sam Pesa with 4. Lexi Ballgreen with, let's see here, I had her down for 9. The scoreboard in the gym has her down for 7. We'll double check that one. Emily Bredman with 5. Kenzie Scogan with 4. Okay, so the bucket goes away from Ballgreen and goes to Scogan then. Okay, so that's where the mix-up's at. 59.4 seconds to go. Pelican Rapids a 2-point lead in the basketball. Inbounds pass comes into Morgan Korf. Korf will run into a double team, and the ball is taken away. Lexi Ballgreen picks it up. Ballgreen over to Abby John. John into the paint, floats one up for Scogan, drives the baseline. Inside, Emily Smith off the glass, and we're tied. 35-35 with 35 seconds to go.
Wow. Poetry in motion right there.
Well, we've had too many thriller games with Pelican Rapids on the Magnitude Sports over the last 2 years. Doesn't matter if it's boys or girls, it always seems to come down to the final moments.
And this game has a funny way of just working itself out sometimes. That jump ball giving possession right back to the Trojans. We talked about how it was a close call right there. And possession arrow pointing their way now. They're going to get the jump ball.
Full timeout, so we'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the conclusion, the final. Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament. If I have to. All right, welcome back. The Barnesville Trojans will have the ball. We have 23 seconds to go, and we're tied up at 35.
This does not get much bigger than this. Man, oh man, I've got goosebumps right now.
Well, we said earlier we didn't hear a lot from the Barnesville student section. They are on their feet now.
Yeah.
19 seconds to go. Abby John has it. If you're Barnesville, you got to be careful here. You don't want to turn the ball over. Emily Bredman outside for Scogan. Nearly lost it. Picked up outside. Ballgreen. 5 seconds to go. Top of the key. 3 off the mark. And we are going to go to overtime.
Wow. What a crazy sequence of events right there. I think that sequence just sort of sums up this game in general. Just frantic back and forth. Man, oh man. I'm glad we get some more of this game.
I think they'll put 4. Yes, they will put 4 minutes on the clock. So we'll reset our clock to 4 minutes. Yeah, this is. I think this is the first overtime game we've had in varsity this year. We've had a bunch of overtime games in C and JV and freshman. But man, if you're going to have your first overtime game in a varsity match, and as the Vikings fans want attention from their fans at home. And they waved back to you, by the way. Yeah, so 4 minutes on the clock. Let's add up the numbers here so far. Chloe, through the regulation play, Chloe Paulson with 5, Anna Stephenson with 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. Greta Tollefson with 9, 10, 11, 14. Ellie Welch with 2. for the Barnesville Trojans through regulation, it is Sam Pesa with 4, Lexi Ballgreen with 7, Emily Bredman with 5, Kenzie Scogan with 4, Abby John with 2, Lauren Halverson with 8, and Emily Smith with 2. We were tied at 6. Trojans took the lead at 16-15. Pelican Rapids took the lead at 19-18 right as the halftime buzzer sounded. And then we would come back, and Barnesville had tied up at 20. Pelican Rapids took the lead at 22-20. Then we were tied again at 25. Barnesville took the lead at 26-25. Pelican Rapids answered with a three-pointer to take the lead at 28-26. They would hang on to it until Barnesville tied it up at 35, and now we are heading to overtime. And we got an update. The winner of this one will play Fergus Falls. They knock off Hawley 50-26. So if Barnesville wins, the game will be either in Perham or here in Pelican Rapids. That one off the mark. And a jump ball, and possession arrow will favor the Vikings. The locations were narrowed down to Fergus Falls, Perham, and Pelican Rapids for the championship game. So now that Fergus Falls has won, that will eliminate that location. And the winner of this game, if Pelican Rapids wins this game, that championship game will go to Perham. If Barnesville wins this game, it could be in Perham or here in Pelican Rapids. All we know for sure at this point in time is that the boys' championship game will be at this gym. Tied at 35. 30 seconds into overtime, and nobody has scored yet. Abby John with the rebound. John will bring it up over the halftime stripe to the hoop and lays it in. And the Trojans strike first here in overtime to take a 37-35 lead.
That's huge with a only 4-minute long overtime period here. I mean, any lead is going to feel huge.
1 minute down and 3 minutes to go as both student sections cheering at about equal volume level. And that one will bounce in.
Gotta answer. Every time a team scores, other teams gotta answer. You can't allow yourself to fall behind too long.
Tied at 37 on the bucket by Tullison. And now Scogan has it. Thought about going to the baseline, turns around, fires it out to Bredman. High post, now John has it up top. Scogan dribbles in, pops it back out. Inside, nearly lost it. Now a fight for the ball, and the possession arrow. Jump ball will favor Barnesville.
That possession arrow is getting one heck of a workout today.
Yeah, no
lost
kidding.
count of how many jump balls we've had, but that just goes to show the fight between these two teams.
That's one stat I don't keep track of. Once again, if you're just tuning in, Fergus Falls has defeated Hawley 50-26. They'll await the winner of this overtime thriller here in Pelican Rapids, tied at 37 between the Vikings and Trojans. Scogan has it, looking inside. Halverson will not dump it in. She'll keep it for the moment. And then a miscommunication there. I believe the pass was intended for Lexi Ballgreen, but it'll go out of bounds. And it's a turnover. It doesn't hurt you too much if Pelican Rapids does score. But what happens on the possession after that is what's going to determine if that turnover was a big one or just a minor one.
Yeah, I like the way you put it right there.
And a kick ball is called here. And is there a foul assigned too, or? Yep, there is.
I believe so,
yep.
Yeah.
So that is the 6th foul. It's going on Lauren Halverson, her first. Down low, and the shot was blocked and also fouled by Emily Bredman. So Bredman will pick up a foul. She has 2, second or third. I had her down. Yep, okay, that's right. It is her third. I had her down for 2 in my book, and they delayed a little bit on the scoreboard. So now looking to break the tie, and they do. That is, can you see who that is? I believe it's Stephenson at the free throw line. And
Yep.
Why wouldn't it be? She's the only one to shoot free throws for Pelican Rapids today. And it's a 2-point lead.
Wow.
So they take the lead at 38-37, and then they tack on one more here from the free throw line to make it a 2-point game. But Don't go anywhere yet. That's not going to decide this game at this moment. We have a full timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. Back in a moment here on the...
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
You didn't like the call? Please remember the officials on the court and the field have the best view of the action as it happens. More officials are needed. People like you. Stay connected to the game you love. Contact the NDHSAA, MSHSL, or your local high school to find out how to become an official.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
All right, welcome back. It'll be Barnesville basketball. Anna Stephenson knocked in 2 free throws to give the Pelican Rapids Vikings a 39-37 lead. And we have 2 minutes to go here in the overtime session. Abby John, this is a huge possession, a huge trip down the floor here for the Barnesville Trojans. Ballgreen travels. Yep, she did.
Well, there you go. That's huge for Pelican Rapids right there. You talked about how important that next possession was for the Trojans. And they get a stop right away.
Press trying to get that 5-second violation. They got it in at about 3 seconds. Bredman harassing in the backcourt there, but bringing it over the timeline is Stephenson. Stephenson will hand it off there for Korf. And once again, you got the 7th versus the 8th grader. I love that matchup.
I mean, it's just a fun thing to say. It's like you were saying, it's not something you see often at the varsity high school level, let alone in a semifinal game.
Emily Bredman's going to pick up her 4th personal foul on the reach in there, and that will be 8. So they'll send Pelican Rapids to the line to shoot 1-1. And it's Stephenson once again. And I don't know why they keep fouling her, but I guess it's her night to be at the free throw line. So still a 1-possession game at 40-37, but this next free throw in combination with those 2 turnovers is going to be huge. We'll see if she makes it. And she does. She has made her last 5, with 4 of those 5 being here in the overtime session. And the Trojans have a little bit of work to do. 1:16 down 4. Abby John with the basketball. John will back up through defenders, pop back out, ricocheted into the hands of Lexi Ballgreen. Up top, Scogan for a 3. No, that's not the mark. Rebound goes to Morgan Korf, and that one may or may not seal it here for the Pelican Rapids Vikings, as we're going to have foul time now here for Barnesville, and that's that's just a tough break if you're a Barnesville Trojan fan, and a sigh of relief if you're a Pelican Rapids fan.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to come down to free throws now. Free throws kind of been a story in this game so far. Let's see if Pelican Rapids can cash in here with someone other than Stephenson.
And that free throw is in, and is that Paulson?
I believe.
I think it is.
No, it's Korf.
It's Korf. Morgan Korf makes both free throws, and that is huge.
Wow.
That's absolutely huge. You're down 6, so it's still a 2-possession game, and you have 50 seconds. You can drive.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was that's a bucket. I was going to say you could drive and try and draw the foul, or you can get an extra pass and take an open look at the 3. So that is 6 points now for Kenzie Scogan, and it has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, an 8-4 run for Pelican Rapids here in the overtime session, and 6 of those 8 points for Pelican Rapids in the overtime session coming from the free throw line here. 43-39. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this here on the Magnitude Sports. Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament. All right, welcome back. 44.7 seconds remaining here in the overtime session. And it is a 4-point game here. Pelican Rapids leading 43-39. Press and the inbounds pass. And they'll get it up into the hands there of, can't quite see who that was. That was Tullifson. Tullifson gets tied up, gets it away before traveling, and a foul coming here on Bredman, and she's done. Bredman will foul out of the game with 33.8 seconds to go in the overtime session. She'll end the night with 5 points and 5 fouls, a couple of rebounds. Matter of fact, I had her down for 6 rebounds, 3 on each side, and a couple of steals, and she has a couple of assists too. So a good game here as Bredman will check out, and checking in is Kim Macy to take her place.
Yeah, replace shooter for shooter right there if you're Barnesville. Only down 4, so you don't necessarily need the 3, but certainly won't hurt them, and I'm sure they won't pass it up if they get an open look.
Well, even if she makes both of these free throws, it's still just a 2-possession game. But you'd rather see a 4.2 possession game than a 6.2 possession game.
Absolutely.
And they have not missed a free throw here in overtime.
Wow. That's why you practice them.
Long 3, a little short. And that's going to seal it right there. I mean, yeah, they're going to foul, but unless she misses both of these free throws, it's going to be Pelican Rapids moving on to the championship game. And you can kind of feel like a somberness from the Barnesville half of the atmosphere in this gym right now, if that makes sense. That's the first free throw of the overtime that they have missed.
Yeah, it looks like Barnesville putting in a few of their seniors now too here with Pesa and Sorensen coming in. Nice little chance for them to get some game time.
And Tullison will make 1 of 2. 46-39, and it's going to be a turnover, and no, Ball Green will chase it down in the corner. Sorensen off the glass, too strong. Scogan with the rebound, can't get it to go, and Pelican Rapids will come away with it. They can dribble this one out. They have 5 seconds to work with as the Vikings crowds are going to stand up on their feet. We may have to raise our camera, and we may not. Or that's not quite what I meant by that, but that's okay. The Pelican Rapids Vikings will move on to play the Fergus Falls Otters in a rematch of last year's 8AA championship game. And that game will be held at Perham High School on Friday.
That game is coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you, fans.
Wow.
46-30. There we go. I was looking for the final button. Apparently, I don't have that button on our overtime folder. But, man, it's a tough loss for Barnesville. But you got to be proud of what they did in this game, because I don't think a lot of people expected them to. Let's see. I wrote it down on a sheet of paper and it's at home, but. I mean, double-digit losses to Pelican Rapids on the previous 3 times, and here you lose by 7. And, man, it's a tough one, but they have nothing to hang their heads about. We're going to collect our thoughts, come back with a post-game show right after this here on the Magnitude Sports. Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISOClean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you. Dean's Bulk Service wishes the best of luck to the teams in the Section 8 AA tournament.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back. We're live here at Pelican Rapids High School. Our post-game show is the Pelican Rapids Vikings improve to 19-1 on this season with an overtime win over the Barnesville Trojans, who will complete their season with a record of 13-6. And you saw it right before we went to the break there. A couple of tears from the Barnesville Trojan girls, and you put up a tough fight here, and I don't know what's more frustrating. I think if you're a Barnesville Trojans fan or player or fan or whatever the case may be, I think it's more frustrating that you weren't able to defeat the Vikings once this season, more so than it was losing in this overtime game. But that losing in a game with this much importance to it certainly plays a role in some emotions as well. But congratulations to the Pelican Rapids Vikings as they will meet the Fergus Falls Otters, and I am so looking forward to that game.
Wow.
You saw the clip in our pregame show there of what happened between those two teams last year in the girls' 8 AA final. And, Pelican Rapids would win that game on a buzzer beater by Maddie Guler, and they would go to the state tournament. They would lose the first game of the state tournament, win the second game, and then the MSHL would pull the plug on the season due to everything that has gone on over the past year or so. But it's been, I think it's been just a little over a year since that game was played. We didn't have too much of a delay. It was maybe about 2 weeks. Normally, this game here would have been played maybe a week ago, and it would have been at Concordia College. But this time, it's at all the home venues. And I don't know if I necessarily. Of course, I miss doing games at Concordia College, but it's also been fun going up to Menahga, coming here to Pelican Rapids, visiting a couple of other places during the postseason that I had never been to before. And everybody at all those schools, the principal at Menahga was absolutely friendly and welcomed us with open arms. The same with Derek and the activity staff here at Pelican Rapids. I walked in the door and he met me right as I came up the steps up front there, and shook my hand and showed me where I needed to go and gave me all the information I need, handed me a roster. Just a warm welcome from all these schools, and we certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to coming back in the future here as the Pelican Rapids Vikings will come out of the locker room now. Let's go over the numbers here. Once again, your final 46-39 in the overtime session. And I'm still adding up a couple numbers here. I want to say hi to Joe. Joe, got your text message. I'll respond to you here momentarily, but if you can be patient a little bit longer, I'll get back to you. But thanks so much for watching. I certainly appreciate that. Let's see here. 35. Trying to do some quick math here. All right, so it's been a while since I've had to do this much math on a Minnesota game. So it was 19-18 on a shot by Ellie Welch right before the halftime buzzer to give Pelican Rapids the lead going into halftime at 19-18. And Barnesville would outscore them 17-16 in the second half to tie this thing up at 35 and send it to overtime. And I believe it was Abby John who had a three at the top there to try and win it. It would ricochet off the right side of the rim, and they would be chased down into the corner as the final second and a half would tick away, and that would bring the overtime session. Chloe Paulson, end of the night with 5. Morgan Korf with 2. Anna Steffensen, I had her down for 20, including 6 of 6 from the free throw line in the overtime session. She had no attempts in the first half, and she went 3 of 5 in the second half for a total of, 20 points. And she'd be your leader. Greta Tollison would be your second highest scorer for the Vikings at 17, and Ellie Welch with 2. Once again, unofficial numbers there for the Pelican Rapids Vikings, who improved to 19-1 on the season. For the Barnesville Trojans, 13-6 on the year now. And, got some hiccups here. Sam Pesa with 4, Lexi Ballgreen with 7, Emily Bredman with 5, 6 apiece for Kenzie Scogan and Abby John. Lauren Halverson led the way with 8 and 2 for Emily Smith. And that is your unofficial numbers for the Barnesville Trojans. The Pelican Rapids Vikings started the game on a 6-0 run, and then Barnesville would respond to tie it at 6, and that'd be our first tie of the game. The Barnesville Trojans would finally, let's see here. It was actually the Pelican Rapids Vikings. I forgot to write down a note. They would take the lead at, I believe it was 8-6, hold on to that until the Trojans took the lead at 16-15. The Vikings got the lead back at 19-18 on that shot by Ellie Welch at the buzzer right before halftime, and that's where we would sit at halftime at 19-18. Barnesville would come out, and they would score the first bucket to tie it. Check that. I take that back. Pelican Rapids would hit a free throw to make it 20-18, and then Barnesville would tie it up at 20. Pelican Rapids would get the lead back at 22-20. Then we were tied at 25. Barnesville took the lead at 26-25. Pelican Rapids, on the next trip down the floor, connected on a three-pointer to take the lead back at 28-26. They would hold on to that until we were tied at 35, which would send us into the overtime session. Barnesville would score first, take the lead at 37-35, and then we were tied again on a basket there by Barnesville, or by Pelican Rapids at 37. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe Pelican Rapids, after tying the game at 37, had a shot, missed it. Barnesville got the rebound, came down, a miscommunication on a pass, and we mentioned that could possibly be a game decider, that particular turnover. And you know, when you really look back at it, it probably was.
I'd have to agree. That was probably the defining play of the game right there.
Because there were a couple other. I think there was one other turnover that was kind of sticks out in my mind. But Pelican Rapids had, I believe it was Tollefson who went to the free throw line. She only made 1 of 2. So that initial turnover didn't cost them, but then the second turnover after the free throw, and they come back down and take the 38-37 lead, and they never looked back, and Barnesville struggled. They got one more basket after that. That basket came from, I believe it was Kenzie Scogan, who scored the final basket of the game here for Barnesville. Kenzie Scogan and Abby John getting the 4 overtime points here for the Barnesville Trojans as they get outscored in the overtime session, 9-4 in overtime. So that'll wrap up this one. We still got to select the Midwest Bank Player of the Game, and we'll take a timeout. We'll think about that. But before we take the timeout, who do you have as candidates, Eric?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Steffenson's a strong candidate. I mean, she was excellent at getting to the free throw line. She was the only Viking to get to the free throw line.
Well, through regulation anyway. Yeah. Now we had 3 Vikings step up to the free throw line in the overtime session. So, but yeah, no, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good.
Go ahead.
I mean, she's a great candidate. So is Tollefson. She had a great game as well. She scored the ball pretty well. And then even Morgan Korf, you know, she didn't necessarily pop out on the stat sheet, but she made a lot of great plays down the stretch and really showed a lot of composure, especially for a 7th grader.
And you got to think back to the first half there when Ellie Welch hit that bucket. It was her only 2 points of the game, right as the buzzer sounded at halftime. You take that bucket away, and we might not go to overtime, and Barnesville might be playing in a championship game. So, I mean, you look back at a lot of these baskets scored by Pelican Rapids, and you take just one of them away, and we're not sitting here with a 46-39 overtime. They really had to battle for it, and I think Pelican Rapids was just conditioned better, and they had a little bit more gas in the tank to allow them to go through that overtime and pick up the win here over Barnesville.
Just an overall great team win for the Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. Tough loss for Barnesville, but as they say, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. So we'll come back and select our Midwest Bank player of the game right after this timeout here on the main.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back. Your final once again in overtime. Pelican Rapids Vikings advance to the Section 8 2A championship game against Fergus Falls with a 46-39 overtime win over the Barnesville Trojans. And once again, if you missed it from earlier, the Fergus Falls Otters defeated the Holly Nuggets by the final score of 50-26. So we're looking at a rematch of last year's 8AA championship on the girls' side. And we had that game for you on Magnitude last year, and we'll have it again for you on Magnitude this year. That game will be played at Perham High School. And I did reach out to Perham High School a few days ago saying, if one of these games ends up, I'd like to reserve a spot. And the response I got was boom. So I'm assuming that means I got a spot. So boom. So we will have that game for you here on Magnitude Sports for the Pelican Rapids fans. Circle your calendar. And for the Fergus Falls Otters fans who may have tuned in and maybe been like, whoa, this game's in overtime? Who are we going to play? Thank you for tuning in and watching as well. It's time now to select the Midwest Bank player of the game. And I think we're going to go with 2 players of the game. We're going to give an honorable mention on the Barnesville side here to, man, I want to give like 2 or 3 honorable mentions, but I think we're going to have to go with probably Lexi Ballgreen once again, scoring a total of 7 points, was the second leading scorer. I think we're going to give a double honorable mention to Lexi Ballgreen because Lauren Halverson had 8 points. She scored 6 of the 8 in the first half, but I just thought of this just now. She had all those rebounds. Yeah. She had, according to my numbers, she had 8, 9, 10, 11 rebounds, and 8 of them were on the defensive glass. And if Pelican Rapids gets even 4 of those 8 defensive rebounds, this game doesn't go to overtime. They win by 6 or so in regulation. So Lauren Halverson, 8 points, 11 rebounds. Honorable mention, player of the game. You could also give credit to Emily Bredman, who had some rebounds and assists as well. And Lexi Ballgreen was 7 points. So Lauren Halverson will be our honorable mention player of the game. And our Midwest Bank player of the game is going to go to Anna Steffensen, the senior forward for the Pelican Rapids Vikings. She ended the night unofficially with 20 points, stepped up to the free throw line 6 times in the overtime session, made all 6 of them. And those 6 overtime free throws are incredibly crucial because, once again, you won by 7 points. You take those free throws away, and we might be in a double overtime right now.
Could you imagine?
So the Vikings went to their free throw line a total of 10 times in the overtime session alone, and they made 9 of 10 free throws from the line. And that right there spells out victory for Pelican Rapids.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Because you take those, if Barnesville doesn't foul, they scored 2 points in the overtime session. And then if Barnesville didn't foul and they didn't get any more buckets than that one from Greta Tollefson that tied it at 37, then you're looking at a 39-37 victory for Barnesville in overtime. So, I mean, you just look at the stats and you do the math, and I was a great math guy in high school. So your Midwest Bank player of the game is Anna Stephenson, the senior forward, number 30, scoring 6 of her 20 points in the first half, another 14 in the second half, including 6 of those 14 from the free throw line in the overtime session. And the Pelican Rapids Vikings will move on to Perham High School to play the Fergus Falls Otters. And if it's any consolation for or for Pelican Rapids fans, it's a rematch. Yeah, you were on the edge of your seat last year, but Fergus Falls hasn't had the best luck in Perham this year either. They lost by a buzzer beater to the Perham Yellow Jackets in almost the similar fashion as they lost to Pelican Rapids last year. The only difference was Ellie Colbeck had a chance at a just inside the half-court strike 3 to tie it up, and it would go off the mark, and that would seal the victory for Perham. So both these teams are going to go to. You could say that Pelican Rapids has had more success at Perham than Fergus Falls has had this year. But when you look at Fergus Falls, don't count them out. They are an excellent team. They've played a tough schedule. They don't play a lot of the 8AA teams, even though they're in the 8AA conference, I believe, or section. I believe it's 3A or 3AA where most of their Fergus Falls Otters opponents come from. So, and all those teams are really, really good. So they have experience against really, really good teams, and that's exactly what we got here. So our camera has been shut off as the power has been shut off, and we will wrap this up now. So we still got battery power, so that's why we're still on the air, but our camera went off. So we'll wrap this up. Final thoughts, Eric, before we wrap this one up here.
I think at the end of the day, free throws probably decided this game, and I think it's a great win for a great team in Pelican Rapids. They get to move on, and they got a chance to try and make history. Come in a few days. Yeah,
definitely do. Well, you can find us online there. You can order a DVD copy of this game. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. You can, if you order a DVD or you want to make a donation, you can do so through our new Venmo account as well as our PayPal account. And like I said, we might have to get a Snapchat account on there too. So we started the Instagram one late. Might as well start the Snapchat one late. So
better late than never.
I believe we have our camera back. Yes, we do. Awesome.
There we go.
So, but yeah, we'll still wrap this one up. Once again, the final score: the Pelican Rapids Vikings 46, led by Anna Stephenson, and the Barnesville Trojans 39, led by Lauren Halverson with 8 points, 11 rebounds, a couple of assists, and just an overall a well-played game by both teams here. But once again, your final score, 46-39. We'll be back tomorrow from Perham High School for the boys semifinal. It's the Perham Yellow Jackets taking on, let's pull up our schedule here, the Perham Yellow Jackets taking on the Barnesville Trojans. I should have known that one. But that'll be live here tomorrow night on Magnitude at about 7 o'clock. And now we know who's going to play in the girls' championship, and we'll find out tomorrow who plays in the boys' championship live here on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. For Eric Tianson, my name is Mike Mason. Your final score, 46-39. Overtime win for the Pelican Rapids Vikings. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on the Magnitude Sports.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to order a DVD copy of this broadcast, simply visit msportsnet.com/DVD.